Good afternoon, and I'm happy to be with you. And in this video, I would start with a conversation that is very important for every research student, and which is usually a very problematic for many people on uh, their research work. Um, in terms of proceeding with a research work, usually start with having a topic. But in this short video, I'll be speaking to the fact that you need a problem and not a topic for your project or your thesis, as it were. Basically, um, the quest for a research topic is a common source of anxiety among many students. It's often seen as a foundational step of guiding the entire research journey. When you come across higher degree students, most of the time they will say, I'm here to have a topic, I'm here to have a topic, and all of that. Because without the topic, most of the time, we believe that we have not started the research. But the purpose of this particular narrative is to take your attention away from what is the topic that you are researching upon to what is the problem that you are solving, because most of the research that we carry out is to actually solve a problem. You can see that we have two pictures here. This is somebody who is actually looking at the books to find a topic, which I refer to as the common traditional approach. And the impactful researcher one is to actually uh, ask yourself, which problem are you solving? Um, the genesis of innovation is problem solving. For instance, most research done around vaccination was just that they want to address infectious disease. Researches carried out on electric cars were product of solving environmental and energy challenges. Researches on IVF is how to bypass the natural way of procreation. You know, Researches on refrigeration is about preserving food and good health. So most of the research that we actually see around, their focus is usually on which problem they needed to solve at a particular time. So it is also important for you to think in this direction, that you focus on the problem first. I am, as a supervisor, I've been supervising higher degree students for more than 12, 13 years now. And my approach is to prioritize the problem over the title. In fact, in some instance, I will tell some people to start working, and at the end of the work, we will know what the title will be, as it were. So it is very important for us to know what the research problem is and define it in a very simple way. Now, a research problem I define here is fundamentally a condition or situation that a researcher finds unsatisfactory and seeks to understand, explain, or improve. If you are improving it, it means that your study will be an intervention study. If you are trying to understand it, it's going to be a study that is focusing on a survey. It could be qualitative, it could be quantitative. You know, if you are trying to explain it, you are talking about how factors can actually predict it and all of that. So a core research problem will have a particular condition. It could be a learning outcome, it could be reading, it could be teaching, it could be learning, it could be economics of a state, it could be GDP, it could be digestive problem among indigestion among pregnant women. There's a problem, and you may wish to understand it, you may wish to explain it, you may also wish to solve it. So the point is that the pure curiosity drives investigation even without overt dissatisfaction. Let me give you an example. I want you to consider the challenge of public health during the pandemic, even with a new normal. Many individuals may still persist wearing face masks. A researcher could investigate the underlying reasons for the refusal or develop intervention for encouraging compliance. Let's assume that during the pandemic, some people don't want to wear face mask. So why do they want? That's a problem. So the question is that now the problem I want to now look at is that why do some individual refuse to wear mask? What are the factors influencing mask wearing behavior? What intervention can effectively promote mask adherence during the COVID? So you discover that it's a real life problem, and for you to have a research problem, there is somewhere it comes from, and that's what is taking me to the next session, which I'll be spending quality time in it. They say, where do research problems come from? Number one, it can come from your daily conversations with your friend, with your experience. It could come from the news. It could come from an academic assignment which you have done in all the coursework you have done, a seminar paper. It can come from medical patterns. It can come from personal experience. Most educational research and medical research could emerge from personal experience. That means you are a practitioner, and on the process, it could come from existing literature. So, what I want to notice is that the best way to find a problem is number one, is to carry out a literature review. You can do extensive literature review so as to see the problem that is existing. When you have found a topic, a area of problem, oh, this is the problem I want to solve in the area of so and so, um, then we can now, in a way, interact with scholars in the same field as you are, people that are doing research in that same area, and send them a mail. And when you are reading your literature review, this is the third part. You have to read more about the theoretical underpinning those research. So let's assume that we are talking about mask wearing behavior, and you Google search papers on mask wearing behavior. You can deliberately look at 5 papers and look at what are the theoretical underpinnings of this research. Paper one on mask wearing behavior. What was the theoretical underpinning? What was the theoretical framework like? Most of us in humanities, we just read the background of the study. Most of the time, we skip the theoretical framework, look at the methodologies used, and all of that. No, the theoretical underpinning for me should be the first part of the study that should be looked at. Then one should also look at the methodology used, the instrument used for data collection, as well as the limitation and suggestion for that study. I'm going to do another video on the interaction with your supervisor, because your problem should be something that your supervisor is interested in. And most of the time, most supervisors, they would love a student to solve a problem around their area of interest. I mean, supervisor that is around in child psychiatry, um, although the person is doing a PhD in psychiatry, um, will want a PhD student in psychiatry under the person to do a PhD in child psychiatry, an area in child psychiatry. Some people are liberal. They may do something interdisciplinary that will just have a bit of child, and the learner would be the PhD student or doctoral student or master student would do other things, and all of those things. But the most important thing is to actually read your supervisor's interest, that you will do the right thing and you will be able to cope as you ought to. The next thing is instrument used for data collection. Look at the work. What are the instruments used for data collection? And this is the part that many people don't give attention, which is the section of the article or thesis of any in a reputable journal. There will be a section on limitations and suggestions for further studies. These sessions are very critical and we need to give attention to them because they are also directly going to link us to where we need to carry out our further study. Let me give you some things you need to know. The benefits of suggestion for further study. When you read the section that is titled Suggestion for Further Study, it is a reflective bridge between current findings and future scholarly inquiry. They are telling us what could be done. As a chemist, I know about a periodic table that was based on the mass number of elements, and the propounder of that periodic table is Mendeleev, and he said in his work that he does not know. He has the idea of some mass number, but he does not know the elements that should be there because those elements are yet to be existing. But he said this should be their position. Some other person can come to look at where those elements, what those elements are, and what they should be put in their place. So his suggestion for further study is that somebody should carry out a research on those elements which he already knows their mass number, but he does not know their identity. So I said it. The benefit suggestion for further study section in a thesis, in a paper, in an article is actually a reflective bridge between current findings and future scholarly inquiry. You know, so uh, we have one of the benefits is that it makes us to know what unresolved issues are. So if you have a area that you are thinking you want to solve the problem, the first thing is to look at the suggestion for further studies in that area for about 5 years, 2020 to 2025. Top research in top tier journal and look at the things that they have identified as research gap and opportunity to. Then you can look at methodological shortcoming. In the suggestion for further study, they usually mention methodological shortcomings. That means this is what we could not do for time constraint. Your own area of research could do that. Maybe you have more time or resources or so and so. For instance, I did a work on the feedback that teachers in the university gives pre-service teacher during their teaching practice, which is also known as practicum. And I said that in many nations outside Nigeria, uh, there is a technology available for somebody to be watched, and the teacher can be observed from a distance and remotely supervised. But those technology are not available in our own classroom. And I said that um, the feedback gotten from those type of research is questionable because the point is that the behavior of the pre-service teacher when he is aware of being watched could also be something he does not exhibit daily. So my remark was that the methodological shortcoming of being supervised remotely by video is that a behavior could be enacted just for the purpose of the video. Then another thing that suggestion for further study gives you is that it gives you the opportunity to develop critical thinking and skill building. You have a particular thing to think about. Oh, this person has done this, and this particular thing is left undone. Now, there's a study. The study is under misconception. My area in chemistry, one of my area in chemistry education is misconception. So this is a topic, misconceptions yesterday, today, tomorrow by Mary J. Leonard, Steve, and his other crew. And the finding of the study is that what they did was that number one, they reviewed historical and contemporary debates on misconceptions. Number two, they examined the structure of student knowledge. Number three, they also established some coherent conceptual framework. Number four, in their paper, they discussed fragmented knowledge, knowledge in pieces and in prism. After they have done this, they discuss instructional perspectives of implications, the instructional implications of this perspective, and they introduce the warming trends in conceptual change. That means they highlight the role of motivation, epistemic belief, and learning strategies. Now, let's go to what we can call their number one thing they suggested is that conceptual pathway from misconception to scientific understanding. That means from wrong way of knowing to the right way of knowing or knowing the right way. There's a need to have a trajectory of what is taking place there. That's a study. So I will not go, if I want to go into this one, I can say my new study is that I want to shed light on the conceptual pathway from misconception to scientific understanding. Another one is that they suggested that those factors, if you look back, they said they know the role that they highlighted the role of motivation, epistemology, belief, and learning strategy. So one can say, okay, since they just highlighted it, they didn't carry out an empirical study on it. So one could actually say, oh, in his own study, he will consider how motivation, epistemic beliefs, and learning strategy affect conceptual change. Another person can do design and evaluate instructional strategy that promote conceptual change. Another person can explore professional development and support needed by instructors to effect conceptual change. And I want to tell you that in this literature review, uh, it is very important to give attention to systematic review journals, articles that are related to systematical review in top tier journal. We actually give you an opportunity to read the perspective of about 40, 20, 30 on those particular subject matter that you are dealing with, just like this study that I am talking about. If you look at the topic, it's more of a system misconception yesterday, tomorrow, and it's more of a systematic review, as it were. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video. Thank you very much.